Good morning, everyone. Join Jackie on Mondays. Today's topic is about appointing guardians for your children and how do you do that? Well, having a baptism or some kind of religious ceremony and appointing godparents, unfortunately, is not a legal guardian appointment. So it may have been meant that way 100 years ago, and it may have been honoured, but it's not legal. It's not legally binding. So if you want your godparents to also be the guardians for children, if something happened to you, then please make your will and appoint guardians in your will. When you have young children and you think that your assets aren't all that much, your will is more about making sure your children are looked after by the right people than anything else. But remember, it's also about making sure the inheritance gets to your children in the right way. So you may not want them to get a whole lot of cash at 18. Even though you think you may not have much, remember there is life insurance on your super, which is a couple of $100,000. There's probably equity in your home. So there is something there. And if you and your spouse both pass away, then double that. And so even if it's $500,000, no, it's not huge, but do you want your two children to get $250,000 each at 18? Well, probably not. No, you probably want someone to be able to manage that money for them for a bit until they're grown up enough to maximize and make the most of it. So, guardians for your children. Think about it in terms of who has the closest values to you to raise your children the way you want, not who has obligation because they're blood relatives. So quite often your parents might be the obvious choice, but also remember they're a generation older than you, if not two generations older. And so how are they going to be health-wise? Where do they live relative to you? Are they going to keep the kids in the same school? Will they actually raise the children the way you want them to be raised? Or is a brother or sister a better option? Or have you got close family friends that have children of similar age? Have a talk to them. Remember, it will not be a financial burden. You have life insurance. You have some money set aside that will be the inheritance for the children that can be partially used for their upbringing. So even if, it's 10 to 20,000 that's dipped into each year to bring them up, if they're brought up the way you want, isn't that a better option for you? So do have conversations with people, and ask them if they'd be happy to be a guardian for your children if you think that they're the best option, because more often than not, people will be honoured by that choice. And it may not ever happen, of course, anyway. The other thing to think about if you have separated from the other biological parent of your child is, do you want the other parent to default to being the only person with parental responsibility? So if you've got a new spouse and you want your new spouse to have some parental responsibility, then you should appoint your new spouse as the guardian for your children, because effectively they step into your shoes in terms of parental responsibility. So the other parent still has their parental responsibility for your child, but your new spouse also has the shared parental responsibility. So there's still two people with that parental responsibility. If you do have children's orders about who lives and spends time with the children, then the guardian that you appoint will step into your shoes in relation to those orders. So having guardians appointed is super important. We don't think that it will happen. In the natural course of things, it won't, but we never know when accidents may happen. And you don't necessarily want your children to be fought over by different family members or to have the wrong person looking after their inheritance. And particularly if you've got a blended family or you're a single parent because you have separated from the other parent of your children, then it's pretty crucial to think about. If you want to get in contact with us, of course, the email address is above. Reach out and ask how much it may cost to do a will, depending on your situation. And Of course, if this is useful for someone that you may know, not for yourself, then please tag their name in the comments so they see the video, or you can hit share and share it with them privately in Messenger if that's the better option, so it's not public on Facebook. This video will be saved onto the videos page on our Facebook page, so go back there, and if there are other legal topics that you want to have a look at, particularly around making wills or around parenting after separation and all those sorts of things, asset protection, different forms of trusts. There's plenty of videos there as a good sort of resource to start with if you're looking for some legal information. Otherwise, I will catch you again next Monday. I hope you have a great week. Stay warm, as always. Take care.